Welcome to this video newsletter. My name is Rich Gordon, and I'm a member of the California State Assembly. I'm pleased that you've taken the time to read my newsletter and to look at this video webcast. The California Legislature convenes beginning in January of each year, and our session schedule runs into September. During that time frame, I spend most of the week in Sacramento, working on your behalf regarding legislation and the state budget. In the fall of each year, I return home and spend most of my time in the district, working with local officials, my constituents and citizens about matters that are of concern to you. It's a great time for me to get a pulse of what's going on in our home community. In January of 2012, the legislature reconvened in Sacramento. And during this coming year, we'll be facing some very challenging issues as we try to cope with the challenges of our state budget and we look at matters of legislation. As it relates to legislation, I'm in the midst of finalizing my legislative packet for this coming year. Bills must be introduced no later than the end of February. And so if you return to my webpage at the beginning of March, you'll see a full list of the legislation that I'll be carrying on your behalf this year. I expect to be working on issues related to health care and health insurance, issues related to local government, and issues related to the environment, particularly issues related to recycling concerns. I take my ideas for legislation from constituents, from folks who contact me, and I'm always willing to listen to ideas that you might have for legislation that would better California. The other key challenge during this coming legislative cycle will be the adoption of the California state budget. We continue to have an imbalance between the amount of income we receive and the expenses that we incur. The governor will have proposals relative to new taxes on the November ballot that would increase income. But in the meantime, we'll have to look at expenditure reductions. Many of the Assembly committees on the budget will be meeting over the spring in order to guarantee that we would produce a budget on time by June 15th. I continue to chair the Budget Subcommittee on Natural Resources and Transportation. And in this Budget Subcommittee, we'll be holding very important hearings this spring. One of those will be on the Cap and Trade program, which is expected to bring new revenue to California. We'll also be looking at issues related to state park closures and the reduction of services in other resource agencies. And finally, and very importantly for our region, we'll be looking at expenditures for the high-speed rail program. I will have information posted on a regular basis on my webpage about these hearings, and I encourage you to provide me feedback and input as these hearings occur. I want to close by talking about one final piece of legislation that's going to be introduced this year, and that's the Middle Class Scholarship Program. The concept here is to take new revenue that would be derived by imposing a single sales tax factor on out-of-state corporations. By imposing a single sales tax factor on these corporations, California can generate a new amount of money in the tune of $1 billion. The proposal is to take that $1 billion and to use it to buy down the cost of education at our state colleges and our state universities. Students at the University of California and the Cal State University system would see their fees reduced by 2/3 if those students fall into the middle class. We know that folks at the very bottom of our economic system often have resources that they can use through scholarships. But middle-class families in particular have been very hard hit by the increase in fees. And the concept here is to reduce those costs for middle-class parents, to continue to make the University of California and our Cal State University system open to everyone and available to all of our students. This is a piece of legislation that I'm co-authoring because I do believe so very much in our education system. It is our future, and we must do something to make sure that we guarantee that future by having well-qualified and well-educated residents in California. We can do that through this Middle Class Scholarship Program. As always, I thank you for paying attention to me, and I ask you, if you would please, to keep in touch with me. On my webpage, there's a way to reach me through email. Please contact me or call my district office. We're always happy to talk to you. We value your input and your ideas and your feedback. I can't do this job without your help. I'm here to represent you, but I can only do that when you provide me with feedback. Thank you very much.